everyone, welcome back to PRN Test Drive. Today we're taking a look at a Japanese-made winter warrior, the 2025 Subaru Forester. For this model year, Subaru has given the Forester a comprehensive redesign and is now in the 6th generation of this model. As with before, the Subaru Forester is an outdoorsy, compact family SUV that features Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Let's take a look around and go for a drive. Here in Canada, the 2025 Subaru Forester after delivery starts at around 36,000 Canadian dollars with the convenience trim and goes all the way up to 47 grand with the Premier trim. This one right here is the limited trim, which sits right below the Premier trim, and it costs about 45 grand. Because this is a brand new generation, the exterior looks quite a bit different compared to the last model year. The Forester now looks a little bit more boxy, and in terms of styling, Subaru has also moved away from the eagle eye design. All Forester comes standard with Subaru's steering responsive LED headlights and radar in the center for the eyesight system. Most of the trim also feature fog lights. The side profile of this Forester is still very recognizably Subaru, with cladding around the wheel arches and along the side skirts down here. One thing I'd like to point out are how massive these windows are. The visibility on this Forester is excellent. In terms of the suspension and wheel setup, the limited trim comes with 18-inch rims, 225 wide tires all around, and McPherson strut in the front, along with double wishbone suspension in the rear. If you want bigger rims, you can go up to the Premier trim for 19-inch rims, or if you want factory bronze rims, you can get this Sport trim. The upcoming Wilderness trim is also something that you might want to pay attention to because it has all-terrain tires and better off-road capabilities. Over to the rear, the taillight design, in my opinion, is miles better compared to the previous generation, and you also get Forester stamped right into the sheet metal across the tailgate. Overall, the rear end looks is an improvement compared to the previous generation, in my opinion, but the exhaust cutout down here really feels like an afterthought. Now, opening up the trunk, although the Forester doesn't feature the most cargo area in its segment, in its class, Subaru has definitely put some thought into this, because not only do you get a whole bunch of tie-down points, hooks here, you also get hooks on the ceiling if you need to put anything up here. You also get lights both here and here, along with the best part, a bunch of cool graphics, topography lines all across the trunk, and a decorative compass as graphics. Pretty cool, in my opinion. Of course, you can also expect to be able to fold down the seats with just a little button. This is a 60-40 split. Pretty practical, in my opinion. Not the largest trunk, but it's still plenty to use. This Subaru being a Subaru, of course, it has a boxer engine. Now, although on paper, the power figures are very similar to the previous generation, Subaru has said that they've done extensive revisions to the engine. This 2.5-liter Boxer 4 naturally aspirated engine produces 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. That's actually 2 horsepower less, but 2 pound-feet more compared to the previous model. The engine is connected to a CVT transmission, but it's got all-wheel drive, specifically the Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system. A hybrid version is also going to be available in the future. Subaru has just launched it. It's still going to feature the Boxer 4 engine along with the Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system mechanically, but it's going to borrow technologies from Toyota hybrids like the eCVT and the software. Jumping inside, the limited trim features leather seats with blue stitching along with a black headliner. The rear seat space is excellent. You've got plenty of legroom and tons of headroom. The seats can be reclined and they're also heated, along with air vents and a couple of USB ports in the middle here. On the side, not only do you get seat back pockets on both front seats, you also get multiple sizes and multiple layers of these seat back pockets, which I think is very thoughtful of Subaru. Before we jump into the front, I actually want to show you this door panel, specifically the bottom of this door panel, because it's got topography graphics and topography lines just like how the trunk has them, but this time it's got a small little shoe print right here, which I think is just super cute. The leather seats in the front are pretty soft, pretty comfortable, but at the same time they're relatively supportive as well. These seats are heated, powered, and the driver's side also gets memory function. Most of the Forester trims get heated steering wheel as well, but something to note is that only the bottom and the side part is heated. The top part is not actually heated. Not a big deal, but just to let you know. As far as the rest of the cabin goes, you've got a fairly large sunroof, a wireless charger that you can turn on or off, along with Harman Kardon sound system, and a couple buttons and knobs for your physical controls. Design-wise, it's pretty simple, but everything in here is built pretty darn well. In terms of tech, the Forester features analog instrument cluster with a small little screen in the center, along with an 11.6-inch portrait-style tablet as the infotainment screen. The higher trims also get the Eyesight Assist monitor, which effectively is a dumbed-down version of a head-up display. It shows different colors, red, yellow, green, under different assisted driving circumstances. The big center touchscreen is easy enough to use. It supports wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, finally, but the interface looks a little bit dated, and I'm not a fan of the big borders around the screen. On the road, this NA Boxer engine CVT pairing unfortunately isn't anything exciting. It'd be awesome if Subaru put in the 2.4 liter turbo Boxer engine in the Forester as well. That would be great, but it is what it is. The revised engine with more low-end torque definitely helps, but there really isn't much from this engine. But not to worry, because my Subaru bucket hat definitely adds at least 20 horsepower. Anyway, all jokes aside, I think the more important thing is that this Forester continues to have the robust all-wheel drive system. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system is obviously proven to be effective and confidence-inspiring when it comes to poor weather and low grip conditions. You've also got the X mode, which you can turn on if you do get stuck. It's got the snow mode and the deep snow mode, along with mud and deep mud, that kind of stuff. But here in Canada, when dealing with snow like what we had last night and this morning, the most important thing is to equip your vehicle with winter tires. The ride quality in this Forester is perfectly acceptable. The suspension tuning feels a little bit stiffer comparing to, say, a CR-V or a Tucson, but it's still very much comfort-oriented. The CVT doesn't drone under hard acceleration, which is great because it has those fake CVT shift points. There's also a manual mode along with paddle shifters that you could use if you want to, but realistically, I don't think many people are using them at all. In terms of fuel economy, on the highway I managed about 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is in line with what this car is rated for, and in my opinion, it's a really good number. If I recall correctly, the CR-V non-hybrid also returned the same 7 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. In the city, however, I was only able to manage between 10 to 11 liters per 100 kilometers, which is quite far off compared to the rated 9.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Good thing the hybrid version is coming soon, because I really look forward to seeing how that performs. As for safety technologies, almost all eyesight features come standard in the Forester. You get emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure, and lane centering. As for blind spot warning and evasive steering, you get it on all but the base model. If you option for the Premier trim, you also get a set of 360 cameras. To sum it all up, I think the 2025 Subaru Forester has improved quite a bit. It's a little bit more refined, it's more comfortable, and in terms of technology, it finally has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. This $45,000 example of the Forester is the limited trim, which, although it's not fully loaded, it's pretty close. And comparing to its Japanese rivals like the RAV4, the CR-V, the CX-50 with similar options and equipment list, this Subaru Forester is several $1,000s cheaper. In my opinion, this Forester makes a very compelling option. What do you guys think? Would you take this 2025 Subaru Forester over its Japanese rivals? Do you like the new design styling? Do you think Subaru needs to put the turbo boxer engine in this Forester? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.